Well, what should history write about Aztec basketball? Let's start at the top. 32-7, quite an accomplishment. Obviously, getting to the Final Four, winning the buzzer beater semifinal game, playing Connecticut in the championship. The history of what Brian Dutcher has done in terms of recruiting, mixing, transfer portal, and obviously teaching the science of the kind of defense that has made San Diego State different than anybody else. Yes, they got battered by Connecticut. It was really hard. And the ugliness that we had talked about during the course of the season, hot and cold Jekyll and Hyde offense, really came back to haunt them. They went 11 minutes, 5 seconds without a basket. They went 22 possessions without a basket in the first half of that game. They had one stretch where they were just 2 for 17 shooting from the floor, dug themselves such a big hole they could not come back. That being said, they did come back. They cut the lead down to about 6. And Jaden Ledee and Nathan Mensah, big difference makers, rallying them. But they ran out of gas. They ran out of possessions. They wound up losing the game. Nothing to be ashamed about. UConn is a special power playing the best basketball of its time at the right time of the year. So to me, there's just a big glow in our community as to what the Aztecs have become nationally. Now, that being said, unbelievably disappointed. Worst TV ratings of all time in the NCAA in March Madness at 14.6 million, the lowest number ever. Maybe because San Diego State's not a household name, not a sexy name, not an offensive firepower name. It is kind of stunning that nobody bought into the storylines of how good UConn became under Dan Hurley and what the Aztecs, as we have known them, to be rock solid, tough, barbed wire, body bag defense just didn't appeal to a lot of people. And it's odd because the NCAA women's tourney had the all-time record 9.9 million viewers compared to the 14.6 million that the men's game had. But the LSU win over Iowa was electric. It was eclectic. It was spontaneous. It was controversial. And it was just dynamic offensive basketball. Did some digging and research today. TV8, which had the March Madness Final Four, their TV ratings rocketed. The Aztecs got a 48 share, 40 rating for the championship game on Monday night. 216,000 viewers in San Diego watched the Aztec game. And in the final 5 to 10 minutes, as the Aztecs were dragging themselves back into it, 246,000 viewers.
Wow.
So overall, it was a big success in San Diego in terms of viewership. It was not a success nationwide. The Aztecs have a lot to be proud of. Now we get to rebuilding. It looks as if 6 guys will be back. Jaden Ledee has indicated he is coming back for his final year. I would hope Keyshawn Johnson would come back for his final year to polish all of his physical skills. Got to believe that Tramel's coming back. Got to believe that Lamont Butler, even though he's going to dabble and ask some people about the NBA, he comes back. So they got 6, plus they got 2 incoming freshmen who have already signed. So the ability to pick up a couple more and the ability maybe to go get 2 more out of the transfer portal. I hear that they've been approached by the 6'9" jumping jack star forward from Wyoming, Graham Ike, and I think the 7'1" Nevada center might be looking at San Diego State. But based on who they are, they can probably go into the portal and sales pitch anybody now and get people to look at them rather than begging and wishing somebody would sign here. So at the end of the day, great season, checkbook in the history and the annals of Aztec basketball. You must know somebody that's a computer whiz. I wish you could get that somebody to run all the metrics of this Aztec team into a computer and wonder how it would match up to the Kawhi Leonard, Jamal Franklin team. Who would win a matchup between Kawhi's guys and Nathan's Mensah's men if they matched each other in a computer? So that's your project in the off week is to go do that.
All right.
Make a phone call from out in left field, see if we can find somebody to run that stuff through a computer. I said a lot. Your reaction to the end result, your reaction to the TV viewership, et cetera.
It's first of all, we're all just loving the Aztecs, right? There's all this community, good vibes, and what a great run. And Dutcher doing it with class, his team doing it really, really with class, exceeding our expectations. It's been fantastic. when we were watching the game, you texted me and you said the Aztecs are getting a little taste of their own medicine, with these big bodies banging them around. What do you think about that?
Well, it was. I mean, Connecticut beat them physically. Connecticut beat them up defensively. I mean, you go 22 possessions in a row without a basket, you're getting a taste of your own medicine. But that's not meant as a negative. They finally ran into somebody. They played the same kind of basketball that they played, and UConn had a little bit better offense. So I don't think there's anything negative whatsoever. I wish it could have ended differently. But I was so impressed with those kids. When they were down 24, hell, it could have been 35. They never quit. They just clawed their way back into the game because that's who they are, and that's how they've been taught to play defense, and that's what they represent. Never give up, no matter what the odds.
Well, going back to the TV ratings, even though as a final the ratings were low, the semifinal game against FAU performed better than like a Kansas Villanova semifinal game. So, there's a number of ways to kind of slice the data here. The main point here, I think we can take as San Diego sports fans, is the Aztec program is legit.
It's arrived.
They've arrived. So to your point, they're going to be getting good quality players in the transfer portal. And you look at these guys coming back, like Ledee, like Trammell, Micah Parrish. You got Miles Bird and Elijah Saunders. They're going to be getting a lot of minutes next year. I mean, this could be a really great team for Dutcher and the guys next year.
One difference is there is no Nathan Mensah, and I think that's the pole that you always built your team around because of what he was going to give you defensively. They're going to have to find somebody that's going to be able to give them that type of consistent defense. He grew into the role, and he's a fine college basketball player, and I think a really, really good kid. All right, let's move on to